Professor Ruth. Just want to give you a second to look at the outfit. Alright. Over the course of the semester, I interned both at WJBF News Channel 6 and for the Department of Communication. For this presentation, I will take the time to go over both individually, giving you feedback one by one rather than do them both together and cause confusion. So, going chronologically, I began at WJBF as a production intern. It's here that I saw more of the technical side of the station, like what the directors did, what the associate producers did, and what the producers did, rather than like the marketing and like the journalism side of everything. Basically, I stayed behind the camera and I avoided being in front of it at all costs. For the time that I was there, I observed a ton of newscasts, production shows like The Dish, and I was on several shoots, on-site shoots with reporters and anchors if they were doing annual segments like the Honoring Black History month in February. An important lesson that I got from interning at WJBF was particularly from one of the directors there, Nikki Wilder. I mentioned her a lot in my reflections. I mostly shouted her since she liked the idea of teaching interns from AU because she was a graduate from AU herself. So she understood a lot of what I was going through and knew how to talk to me. The first time we were scheduled to go on a shoot together, I mentioned that I was very uncomfortable with using cameras because I was sort of scared of them and I felt like I was going to break them and I just really didn't know how to use them. So an hour before we were supposed to go on the shoot downtown to the Book Tavern, Nikki took an hour of her day to go over the basics of the camera with me. She let me hold it, snap a few photos, change like the settings, take a 5-minute clip of something, test her audio recorder and microphone out. Since I was going to be the one to hold the mic and monitor the audio for her when we did the shoot. The shoot ended up being canceled when we arrived, but the lesson that she gave me will be something I value for years to come. It was so impactful that I went out a couple weeks later and I bought myself a camera, and it's right here too. So just so I could practice for myself. I wanted to use what Nikki taught me to grow as a creator, and I wanted to take my own photos, take my own videos in case I ever needed to incorporate it into a video. And I think that's something I'll just take with me forever. I want to continue to do this. An accomplishment that I was proud of was when it was like the second week I was there, I had shadowed senior associate producer Lud for like 2 weeks, and I knew what he was doing. And when he went to the bathroom one day, he was just like, oh, send this and that to the noon broadcast. And I did it. I sent like 3 or 4 things to this broadcast, and when we were watching it into the control room, knowing that I cut those clips together and that they were being broadcasted in the CSRA, it was kind of surreal. Like, people were watching this at home and they were watching what I put there. And it was just a small thing to treasure, but it made me excited for the rest of my internship, and it made me just really excited to see what I could do. A time that I rose to the challenge during my internship was on the set of The Dish. It was my first time being on a production show. I was observing when the timekeeper had to step in the control room to take over for the director, who had to suddenly leave. So it just left me, the timekeeper, and the person that was holding the handheld camera. So I quickly asked if I could lend a hand with the time cards, and since there was no one else to take that position, they agreed. But I feel like I rose to the challenge here because it was something that I was super nervous about. Like, you can mess up time card keeping, and I was afraid that I was gonna do that. But I knew that it was important to have this person on set. Like, it was important to keep the host, Christina, updated on how long she had left for her segment, when she needed to start wrapping things and signing things off. So I feel like I rose to that challenge of being the timekeeper. I've definitely grown as a professional because I've branched out into new areas that I want to explore, like I did with photos and videos, and doing that for myself and rather than have someone do it for me. I wanted to try my hand at recording and taking photos, and I did. And I just want to have more skills if they're needed later on in the future. and I just want to be more than an editor. What I wanted, yeah. I'm not sure this internship has altered my long-term goals any, but it definitely pushed me in the right direction. I mentioned my other speech for your COMM 3100 class that I had no idea where I was going after college, but with this internship, I do. I have that direction that I want to go in. I want to gain that level of professional editing experience more than I already have right now, and I want to get this background experience before I move further into the film and media industry. So it's a small step towards a bigger goal that I have, and I understand that now. Some advice I have for future interns is to just remember to take everything in. Remember to write everything down. See what all your internship can offer you. Don't stick with one thing and be confined there. I was confined to being an editor until I branched out into this videographer and photographer type of area and explore those different sections of your internship. It may not be your cup of tea at the moment, but at least you tried, so you can say that further down the line that you did try. And you never know, you may end up like it like I did. So moving on to my other internship for this semester, due to COVID-19, as you know, I partnered with the communication department to complete my course. I was a digital editing intern, and I was given the job of editing together profiles of other interns this semester, if that makes sense. Dr. Bulla wanted to see what the other interns were up to this semester, how the internship was going, how it was going to help them in the future, what skills they gained, and if they had any advice for future interns. Just things like that. After contacting a handful of recommendations, I was able to get 3 students to volunteer for this opportunity: Taylor Ferguson, Lauren Ramos, and Kim Vickers. Unfortunately, I only got to do Taylor and Lauren's video. Kim wouldn't have gotten her footage in time for me to edit with ending of school and finals coming up. So the interns would record themselves off questions that I wrote, send me the footage back with any of the materials that they made during the internship that they wanted me to include, like PR flyers, photographs, videos, social media posts, anything like that, anything that they were comfortable with sharing. And then I would compile it into a nice video for the department. But a lesson that I value after my internship was done would be to time manage better. It's an important lesson that this part of the internship taught me, and it's not negative at all. I did have to drop one of the interns due to having only like a week and a few days to edit, and finals coming up rapidly. Kim's video had already had complications with it, so I did have to just drop hers in the end. But it would have been nice to edit hers since we were both originally at WJBF together. We had a few classes together this semester. We've grown closer throughout the semester, but would have been a nice thing to do for her. But perhaps there should have been stricter deadlines to get the footage in, but I'm just proud of the products that I've made though. And I will continue to time manage better in the future. A big accomplishment that I'm proud of is the end result that happened just last night, Friday night. Dr. Bulla emailed me saying that he loved the videos and he wanted to show them on social media as well as the COMM department's website. And that was a big wow for me. It was just like watching the footage I sent for the noon broadcast at WJBF. It made me feel valid as an editor and a young creator, that somebody, a supervisor or a boss or something like that, they liked what I produced and they were going to do something with it. There really wasn't a time where I rose to the challenge for this part of my internship. Nothing that pushed me too far out of my comfort zone. But I guess you could say that communicating and integrating online communication was something that I rose to the challenge of. If an intern had trouble sending me something, I would quickly answer and offer a way to overcome this problem. And I believe that working with the communication department helped me grow as a professional. And it gave me more experience working for someone producing something for someone, and presenting the final product off to the world. Because this is what professionals do, and this is just a small snippet of what I will be doing in the future. So it just helped me better prepare for that. But much like WJBF, didn't impact me with my long-term goals, neither did this one. It just solidified that this is something that I wanted to do. I want to be an editor and I want to make videos for a living, and it just helped me realize that more. More advice I want to leave for future interns in regard to this one would be to go with the flow. Like, once COVID-19 ended my internship with WJBF, I was stuck up on the opportunities that could have been at that site. I wasn't too excited to do anything else, and after a while of moping around, I did get over it, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing this half of my internship. So even if things change for you, widespread pandemic or not, just go with it. Things happen for a reason, and the end result is what you should look at, what you've created along the way. So good things can come out of weird places. All these internships were extremely beneficial to me. WJBF helped me figure out where I wanted to go after college. They helped me explore new areas. The Department of Communication internship gave me the opportunity to work as a makeshift professional for a bit. It was a small slice of what was to come, so it wasn't so scary when it did come in the future. But in the end, I'm going to evaluate everything I got to do for this class. I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity to work with the internship course, the internship places that I got to work at, and to do this course with you.